right, well, it's time for us to right now focus on our health.
That stressed me out. That whole conversation
Easy, man. Of course, stress has become a far too common part of our lives. We experience stress from our environment, our bodies, and our thoughts as well. And the symptoms manifest in all shapes and forms.
Yep, and today we are joined by now a good mate of ours, pharmacist and national training and PR manager for Relief Pharmaceuticals, Sean Willard, who is here to shed some light on how stress affects our bodies, and in particular, it's a common relationship, IBS. I feel like I've gotten to know more than I ever dreamt I could about IBS, but the crazy thing is so many people are talking to me about it now.
Yeah.
So many people are affected by this. It seems to be this natural, almost a knee-jerk reaction to stress, is that this kind of stress module, our kind of nerve center goes haywire. Why do we have a physical reaction to stress? Because surely stress is emotional or it's mental.
Absolutely. So there is obviously the connection of I see something, think charging lion or that elephant bull that's taken an untoward disliking to you. But you see the picture, it goes through our nervous system, causes a release of adrenaline and cortisol from our adrenals. And in the end, we have these things like, well, our pupils dilate, we start to sweat, our heart races, our blood pressure goes up, all part of our sympathetic nervous system, what we call fight or flight.
Okay.
And so it has a physiological effect, absolutely.
Yeah. So how does that then link into IBS? Because I mean, as you were physically actually showing it, is that when you feel stress, it's that warm feeling of like a boiling just in your gut there. How does that then affect IBS?
Yeah, so the opposite of sympathetic nervous system is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest. And we don't end up digesting our meal if we're in fight and flight all the time. So at the end of the day, we can have that reflux, that burning, that cramping, that bloatedness, all those things that we've talked about with regard to IBS and dyspepsia.
Okay.
That's crazy, because it seems to be a chicken and egg thing as well, because your gut needs to be healthy in order to feed the rest of your system. But if you're stressed out and nervous, then your gut can't be healthy.
Correct.
It seems to be quite a crazy, and I know you've spoken about the link between the brain and the stomach in that sense. With IBS specifically, how does someone know that maybe their IBS could be stress-related as opposed to eating something, or what can be some of those triggers where they should just take a moment, take a breath, and calm down, because that clearly could be playing a role, do you think?
Yeah, so we spoke about that bidirectional gut-brain axis, didn't we? So it's something that happens in our brain, can affect our stomach, but also what's happening in the gut affects our brain. And in fact, in one study, over 4,600 people, when they were diagnosed with IBS, they actually found that they had a high incidence of things like anxiety, mood, and even sleep disorders. So yeah, it definitely, what's happening in our gut is impacting our brain very much so,
So then with that in mind, what's the best way of relieving stress so that your gut functions more healthily and hopefully you can avoid symptoms of IBS?
I love that pun, relieving. Relief ARTIGEST IBS. Thanks so much. So relief ARTIGEST IBS, great for relieving those symptoms. And obviously it'll decrease the stress. If we're not experiencing the symptoms, we're not going to be as stressed. So using something like relief theanine, which is an amino acid, great for healthy sleep and for relaxation. Excellent product as well. But yeah, the mindfulness, the meditations, the breathing, all these things, exercising. We've talked about it, and I think at the end of the day is just choosing our foods wisely. All these things contribute together to decrease the stress.
I think it's also just be honest with yourself, like take a step back, because often when you're in it, I think you forget that these things are going on and you just think, okay, I've got to suck it up and just deal with it.
Yeah.
And you don't. There are relief, there's relief available for the symptoms as well, but just often that taking a moment, taking a beat to take a breath, just expanding your diaphragm and relaxing that part of your body, because I'm doing this because we're going to be doing yoga in just a moment now, so I'm preparing to take those deep breaths, but also just knowing about it and educating yourself about it, and talk about IBS and learn more about it. Don't be shy, because it's it's something that you don't think affects you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Great to see you. Great to see you. Now, of course, if you do suffer from IBS and you're looking for relief, ARTIGEST is available at all leading pharmacies nationwide. Plus, a little while later, as you heard from Graham, we're going to be joined by a yoga instructor who's going to show us a few stretching and breathing techniques that'll help you not only relief of IBS, but also just de-stress a little bit, especially at the start of a brand new day. She's got a couple of techniques that we're going to be trying out, and I hope that you're ready with your...
man.
So stay with us and make sure you don't miss out on that. I've never seen Graham do a downward dog before, so maybe today might be the first.
No.
Control the symptoms and feel the relief with ARTIGEST IBS. Brought to you by Relief Pharmaceuticals.